Welcome back to Mouth So Reckless Season 2.
Season 2.
Hey, Mouth So Reckless, Mouth So Reckless, Mouth So Reckless. Thank you.
We back. We back. Hey. Number two.
They're not getting crap no more.
Number two.
Season 2. So thank you guys so much for joining us, Mouth So Reckless Season 2. Thank you guys so much for all the love and the feedback that we got on Season 1. We're excited to be back, and we're going straight in, hitting the emotions. Hitting the emotional mark. So today we are going to be talking about pursuing and relationships, and not necessarily going in depth about relationships, but just the beginning stages. Like, is it like a cute little crush? Is it being thirsty, which thank God that term is going away? Is it being thirsty, or is it just old school pursuing the woman that you want to be with? And if you're in a relationship, is it cute and caring and being protective, or is it overbearing and jealous and low-key toxic?
Right.
So we want to know. So we're going to start off, before you even get to the relationship, we're going to go from start to finish to when you're in the pursuing stage. My question to little Miss Ashley over here is, when it comes to women, as a woman, when a man is pursuing you, first we'll start when you're uninterested. Actually, you can talk about both. If you're interested in a man or if you're uninterested in a man, at one point does it become like over pursuing? Or like when he's pursuing you, at what point does it become like, okay, catch the hint, this is low-key stalkerish, I'm not interested? Like, where does that line come from? Where does it come from, and how does a man know? Because they're saying they're supposed to chase and pursue the woman and court the woman, but when is it enough? When is the woman lacking enough reciprocation and interest for the man to be like, okay, I'm good? That was a mouthful.
That was a whole lot, right?
Really?
Well, as women, we play hard to get, right? Like you said, you do want the men to chase us.
Mm-hmm.
But as a man and as a woman, when you are interested with somebody, that is given off. They reciprocate that, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not showing you any reciprocation and you constantly coming for me, and I'm not acknowledging anything, and you just constantly in my inbox, constantly calling me, and I'm not showing you any inkling of me wanting to show any interest in you, then I think you should leave it alone. Because if I like you, you gonna know a little bit. You sense that.
She said it.
You sense it a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna play that hard to get.
Yeah. I feel that.
So what about you? What you think?
I have a 3-strike rule. Like, men, with any woman, and this is for women and for men, with any woman, if you've tried to pursue her to the point of exchanging numbers 3 times and she still hasn't given you her contact information, then that's the 3 strikes, you're out. Period. Because all that social media exchanging, follow me on IG, add me on Facebook, none of that is personal. If you're really trying to get to know somebody intimately and really have something serious,
exactly.
Why do they have to get to know you through like being a fan?
Right.
That's
what the kids.
They may not even like, because they may not even like the person that you are after so long. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, they're not a fan. And then you get mad and then you block them anyway. So that's a whole nother story. But it's the 3 strikes rule, because men, to be honest, I appreciate a man that pursues a woman, and after you've reached out 1, 2, 3 times and she's still not showing interest, at that point she's just kind of taking advantage of the situation, and I just feel like it's too much at that point. It's time to move on. If she's that difficult in the beginning, just imagine how difficult she's going to be to deal with in a relationship.
True. See, I want to be pursued, right? I do. I want to be pursued, but not to the point to where I'm feeling like, God damn, like, are you a sucker nigga? Like, I want him to feel like he's a prize too. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be with somebody that just feels like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
excellent.
Excellent.
So I got a little situation myself.
Okay, let's hear it.
Striker, right? So a lot of y'all know that I am recently single, right?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, yay!
So I decided to get on the website called Be Okay, which is a internet dating site to meet black single people, single men or whatever.
Oh, that's cute. Our pictures are on the
On the right side, on the
polish is cute too, but yeah.
You know what? I started the season out last season with blue polish.
That's cute.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I sure did. If you would go back and look at the very first one, I had on blue polish.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah,
I
you
thought
just
that was
really
cute.
interrupted
I'm
me.
sorry.
But anyway, so I got on the internet dating and whatever, but I didn't really like it. It's not for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on there to deactivate it because I'm just like, I started feeling like everybody in the grocery store knew me from the website. Because it's like people be looking at me and they're like, they always look at me like, oh, I know her from somewhere.
And then those apps have the location, right? To where they match you with people
and
that
it's
are
like
really
literally,
close.
I don't like that. It's putting me with people that's 1 mile away from me.
Gas is high. I would love that.
I don't love that. I don't like that shit. That requires too much.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be off the site. I'm not seeing nobody interested or whatever. So I go on there and deactivate it, and the picture was up because it shows, people, whatever. So the person that was up, it captured my attention. So I'm looking at him, I'm like, damn, I like what I see. I look at his little profile, like everything, I'm like, cool. So I went, put the little heart on it, right? So a couple days later, I get a notification that I had a match.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have a match, he obviously, the same person that I hearted, he went on there and he liked me as well, so we made a match, right?
Oh, nice. Okay.
So from what I'm told is when you make the match, it goes boom, like a little ding. You
get like a notification.
Right, so that you made a match. Not for me, but the person that
you matched with.
The second person that presses the heart when you make the match, it pops up to them, right?
Okay.
So I see the notification, but I never got a message from the man, right? So I'm like, okay. I waited for, a little bit, a couple days. I'm like, well, hell, he saw that we matched. Hell, he saw that we matched before me. Why he didn't send me a message?
Right, exactly.
So I'm like, okay. So somebody tell me, well, you don't always have to do it like that. It's okay for the woman to say something sometimes. That's the way it is now. So I'm like, okay, so I'm going to do it against what I normally would do, right? Mm-hmm. So I go on there and I put a little simple, hey, whatever his name is. Mm-hmm. Something simple, hi, whatever. Do you know I never got a message back? I still ain't got a message back, and it's been like about 4 days. I ain't going back on there and sending
Okay, so let me say this.
I ain't doing it.
You definitely should not have sent a message because I believe once a woman expresses her interest, a man should automatically be on it. Okay,
exactly.
It's time to pursue. So let's play devil's advocate for a little bit though.
See, I'm with you though.
Do you know, like, what his career is? Do you know, like, what he does? I'm only asking because certain careers require a lot of attention to where maybe... How long ago did you send a message?
It was just like, I want to say 4 days ago. 3, 4, maybe not even that many days ago. It might have been like 3 days ago.
I'm going to tell you like this. When it comes to dating apps, let's be real. If you're trying to be discreet, you're not having notifications and all that pop up on your phone because most people don't want people to know they're on dating apps.
True.
And if you really are a career-driven person, you're really only checking for that like on the weekends or every so many days and stuff like that. So 4 days, I wouldn't really sweat that.
Actually 3 though, to be honest.
Yeah, that wouldn't really sweat that. For dating apps, I would say at least give a week because if your notifications and stuff aren't on and you're not checking for people like that, at least give it a week and then we can revisit it. Now that you sent the message, should you have sent the message? No.
I feel like I should have never sent the message, but I was taking the advice from a person that is on the site. So I'm like, okay.
But I mean, if the person is still on the site, should you be taking advice from somebody on the sites?
That is a good point.
You know what I'm saying?
That is a good point.
I would rather you take advice from somebody. Not to say that there's anything wrong with somebody who's still on the sites. But if you can find somebody that met a partner on the sites that is in a successful relationship,
I know 2 people
that are okay. So take advice from them.
Okay, no, I'm saying I know 2 people with a women's. But okay, so.
But what I'm saying is, talk to somebody who had a successful online relationship.
I'm telling you.
Is that the person that told you to send a message?
No,
I didn't think so.
No, but the 2 people that I do know that have a successful relationship, they were the first person to reach out to their person. And they're the women.
So it did work for them.
So it did work for them. Now that I think about that.
Okay.
But back to what you were saying about his career, he is a person he's a bodyguard for celebrities.
He ain't on that app like that.
So
you gotta be on high alert as a bodyguard.
Anyways, I was just like, I should never did it. But like you said, I don't even be on a website like that either.
So you can't give him a heart.
I know. Now that you're saying it like that, I think about it like I only look at the damn website.
Yeah, because I'm gonna say it like this.
Look at it here and there.
Should you have sent the message? No.
See, I'm in
But now that you sent the message,
I wish I could delete it.
But now that you sent the message, you have to give a reasonable amount of. That's that double standard. This is why I stick up for men so much. Because if it was a man who sent a message to a woman will see the message and still feel like they gotta wait to reply to the man. I'm not talking directly to you, but I think you would wait a little bit too. But
yeah, I was.
You have to.
So thirsty.
Yeah, keep the same energy. You don't want the man to think that you're on the site all the time and stuff like that. So you might wait some days to reply as well. Keep that same energy. If you send a message, that's on you, because now I ain't got the patience.
He better reply. I'm gonna deactivate him in a minute.
Right.
So
I
it doesn't matter.
I can't send no messages. I can't send no messages because I'm like this. I'm gonna be antsy. Like he ain't just like you.
No.
No,
I ain't antsy.
No,
I just thought like I said I'm gonna just.
I'm gonna be antsy as in the sense if you don't reply to me in a couple days, I'm hot. I'm telling you to wait, but I'm different. Like
I ain't gonna be hot. I'm just gonna be like, okay, fuck that nigga. Okay,
I'm hot because I was sending the message.
I ain't gonna. Okay, don't rub that part in. I'm trying to let that part
Why
go.
Why you send the message?
I'm trying to let that part go.
So that's all I feel. I just feel like you have to show the same grace. You have to give him at least a week to give him a chance to go in the app. You should be happy he didn't get you right back, because that means he really on the app like way too much, and what are you really looking for?
Yeah, because I think we matched a few days after the fact that I had liked him too, and then I didn't even see it until a few days after he had liked it either. So
now we getting the truth. Now we getting the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help you back.
And the only reason why I saw it was because I was looking for something else, and I happened to see I had a notification, and I was like,
but she complaining.
Because I'm a woman.
That's your fault. You went out of a woman's character and sent the message, so now you got to put yourself in the man's place and give him some time.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Whew, glad we got that out. I love that. So that's where we're at, guys. So of course we want feedback. Drop a message, drop a comment, tell us what you think. So now we're gonna move past that. Right?
Okay.
We'll move past it to now you're dating. Right? And I believe that women are more thirsty in the dating phase, in the sense of they want a commitment right away.
Oh, yes.
So
especially women of our age, they want
a commitment today and yesterday and a month ago.
Correct.
So let's say you meet a person, you guys conversate for a couple of weeks to a month, and you guys decide, okay, let's enter the dating phase. Now let's be clear, the dating phase is not a commitment. That just means, in my opinion, that you chose to give your undivided attention to that person.
Okay. Right.
But you're not in a committed relationship.
Yeah, y'all dating. Y'all have piqued each other's interest to where
you're dating.
Yes.
So when is it considered thirsty or overzealous when the woman starts pressuring or the man starts pressuring the other party into a commitment? Like, because I believe in natural flow. You do have to let things flow naturally, but come on now, it's only going to flow so long before it gets dried out. So when is it too much? Like, when does it become overbearing? For me, I feel like if you're dating someone and you're only dating them for a couple of weeks and they're already asking for a commitment, I feel like that's a red flag. Exactly. Because we don't even know we haven't spent enough time together. Like, I need to know we can hang out with each other and still have a good time without spending money. Like, there's a lot of things that I need to know, right? Before. So for me, 2 weeks asking for a commitment from me is a problem. And if you ask too many times, I'm gonna leave you alone.
Yeah, because that's gonna push you. Like you said, it's a red flag. That's scary. Like, what is the rush?
For me, it's like you're not. For me, it's like you're more concerned with the title of being in a relationship than you are with actually finding the right person to be with, and that's a problem for me. So, what do you think? Like, what's your cutoff time? Like, when is it too soon to be talking about a commitment, and then when is it too long to be still waiting?
Too soon, I would say a month or before is too soon, because you still getting to know each other. Like you said, you don't know how it is to go out with him. You don't know what it is for him to get mad. You don't know how it is for him to have a bad day. It's you don't even know what he got going on with the other women.
Especially if you guys both have careers, right? You're not able to spend that much time together within that month.
I think you need a date, and like you said before, court a little bit, get to know each other. But you don't want to string it out too long. You don't want to just be dating somebody for 6 months, and now you 6 months in, and he's still talking about be friends. At 6 months, I think you should at least start gradually. And at that point, you should be knowing that, okay, I like this time I'm spending with this person.
Mm-hmm.
I like that he's able to take care of his business. By this time, you're able to see a pattern.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, I think it's time to either shit or get off the pot. Like, what we gonna do?
I like that. Shit or get off the pot. But if you constipated, then does that give you a little more time?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it does.
Okay, we go. I thought it was funny. Don't little laughter in there. So I would say 6 months is too long for me. I would say naturally the man should be pursuing and asking for a commitment within 3 months.
I know you're 90 days.
Right. Because with me, I feel like 90 days is like that good. And I don't put a time limit. So don't take that as a time limit. I'm just saying the time as just a point of reference because people like references. But I feel like over between 0 and 90 days, if you haven't decided and you still raise questions that you want to commit to that person, you're either not ready for a relationship or that's not the person for you. Because we're talking about a commitment. We're not talking about engagement. We're not talking about marriage. We're just talking about committing that me and you are committed to each other and we are now this quote unquote boyfriend or girlfriend. So that's my take on it. Now, if it takes, I'm okay with it taking a little longer though. Like you said, like 6 months. But let me tell you this: if it takes longer than 6 months, I'm out this. Like that's too long because I'm bored at that point. Like, what are we doing? You're just sucking up all of my time and energy and not committing. That's too long for me.
And like you said, month 3, that is when you should at least start seeing.
You should know. Men,
yeah.
I feel like men know because I've been told that I think like a man. So I feel like men know quicker than women know if that's the person they want to spend the rest of their life.
We used to be like,
yeah, women are emotional, so they're like, he's cool, but he hurt my feelings, or he's cool, but I'm holding on this past mistrust, and I'm not ready.
It's cool, and I just don't know.
Right, and I'll. So why you trying to distract me? But I feel like
distracted.
I have been distracted. So I feel like 3 months a man should already know. Now if it hits 6 months and you haven't decided that you are or are not the man or woman for the other person, then just let it go because something's holding you back from the person and sometimes it's a sign from God. If God ain't tugging on your heart to go ahead and pull that, and make it happen, then it's you need to let it go.
And sometimes it happens way sooner than the 3 months.
Right.
You know what I mean? It could happen within the first few weeks. Some people just, they just hit it off. And sometimes some people I've heard of getting married in three weeks.
And I think I think that is fair if you go into the situation open and honest and transparent.
Exactly.
If you go into a situation without a facade and without past pain and past hurt and past experiences and really are open and honest with that person, and they have to be the same way though. It has to go both ways.
The expectations are matching.
Right, then I definitely agree with you. I definitely believe that it can happen hella quick.
Yeah, it can.
I do believe in that fairy tale dream relationship. I even believe in love at first sight if you're open and available for it. Because love at first sight doesn't mean get married tomorrow. Love at first sight just means, okay, I'm gonna be on you.
You had that connection. You was already you was drawn.
It's a natural energy match.
That show Married at First Sight. Did you ever watch that?
Yes.
I mean, that's when I watched that show, but a lot of people on there are still married. They never met before. Mm-hmm. But like you said, they went into it open. Mm-hmm. They left their past baggage behind. And they had the same expectations. They both wanted to be married and be in a committed relationship. And one of the guys that's on this season just said the other day, like, he was crying. He was like, I already know, like, he was like, when I seen you at the altar, I was already committed to loving you. Committed to being your husband, and I want you to be with me the rest of my life. He was like, if they say it's a thing of love at first sight, then I'm part of that. Like, I really felt like I fell in love with you at first sight.
And I feel like I definitely like the show because I definitely feel like it weeds through the bullshit. Because on some of the episodes I watched, you have people being open and honest and really asking those hard questions to really get to know the person. You're forced to get to know the person without the lustful eye and the physical expectation. And it weeds out the bullshit because you have people on there, like this one guy was on there, asking about height and weight and hair color. So he still was trying to get a visual. So that's when you know that you're not really worried about love and compatibility. You're all about the physical. Mm-hmm. Now let's be real. You do have to be attracted to the person.
I totally agree.
However, let's also be real that you become more physically attracted to a person that you like. So I'm gonna get to know you and I'm gonna like you first, and then that way when we see each other, it should just be like, well, shit, I get it, right? You know, let's get it together today.
And that's true though, because even on one of the very first season, the couple Doug and Jamie, they like one of the OGs, right? Mm-hmm. So when she seen him at the altar, she had a whole meltdown.
Oh, I love that.
She was a bad because she did not like the way he looked. Oh. She didn't want to come out. She was sweating. She was crying. After the ceremony, they was like, doing the pictures, and she was just like, didn't want him to touch her. She didn't want him.
Then why did she say yes?
What you mean? Why you say yes? She said she was trying to go through with the process. It was already.
No, why did you go?
Why did she marry him?
Don't cry if you
did all that, right?
You're so unattractive.
She was, but she was like, I'm trying to stay in here. But long story short, they're still married. They're still married. They got 2 kids. The kids is old. They're the OGs.
So my question is,
she loves him.
And I'm pretty sure you agree with me. My question is, what was his response after he saw the tape of her?
He was so hurt
to her responding to his physical appearance.
He was hurt. He was hurt.
See what I'm saying?
He was hurt, but they've gotten past it, and here they are. Whatever they on season month.
They gotta be years later too.
It's season 14 or something. They've had a miscarriage and all that. So they've had season 14. This is season 1.
And they have kids already, so it's been a couple. You had to be a few.
They
years.
Season 1.
Yeah, that's.
So back to what she said.
Like 11 years.
Something like that probably. But it goes back to what you said. You get more attracted. So as time goes on, when you love somebody, you get attracted to that person. You don't even see that ugliness, what you thought was ugly no more.
Yeah, I agree with that. So we can both agree that over 6. Oh no, you get. We both agree that over 6 months is too long, and to expect it under 3 months is not realistic and not fair. Because it can happen, but those are extenuating circumstances. Those are what do you call it? What's the word when it's like not that common? Like
unordinary.
Yeah, it's out of the ordinary for that to happen. So we would say, without putting a strict time, don't now women, y'all something else. Y'all pick and choose what y'all want to listen and take into y'all. So y'all women that's watching this dating, don't go back and say, we just watched the podcast and they said 3 months, it's been 3.5 months.
Oh no, hell no, I don't give y'all no time.
You see what
y'all do what y'all do.
We're just doing it just for reference, so you guys have an idea of a timeline. But every individual couple is their own timeline. We cannot decide. We don't know. There's so many circumstances. There's kids. You might have to spend time with your family. You might work a lot of hours and don't really get to see this person alive. Like, these things can make it take longer. Or if one person is unemployed and one person is employed, like, it can happen quick. Because the person that's unemployed can cater to that person's schedule. Mm-hmm. So it can be quick. It can be fast. But we're going to say, expectation, no earlier than 3 months, no later than 6 months, just for a commitment. Right. Not an engagement, not a marriage.
And
just
for
a commitment. Reference. That's our personal reference. Now marriage.
Because somebody might come sweep me off my feet within a month.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you about marriage. What do you think about marriage?
As far as when
it comes to marriage, what do you think there's a lot like now we're committed. Now we're going into the next phase.
I don't think you should get married unless you
still everything natural, right? Because I don't care what y'all think. I've said this a million times. I don't like a woman asking a man to marry her. I think that's whack. That's out. So if you're in a relationship with a man, without telling him, women, stop giving men these ultimatums. Like, if they don't propose or marry you in a certain amount of time and all that, like, don't do that. Stop doing that. Let the man, because if anything, that's going to make a man not want to marry you.
And what's happening is they still ain't married.
Right, because a man, and you know what's funny?
And y'all still on year 6 and y'all still ain't married.
Right, and not just that, the man could have had a ring in his pocket. But now you done start putting all these ultimatums on him and making these demands where he's like, maybe she's not the one. So don't block your blessing. Don't give no man no ultimatum. Don't put a timeline on it. However, we can have a timeline in our minds that we don't share with the man. I got one. I think we all got one.
Absolutely.
So I'll ask you, Ashley, when is it a point where you're like, okay, we've been dating long enough, not to tell him, but just in your own mind, your clock, and you're waiting for it to happen naturally, of course, but at some point you're like, dang, it's been a minute, this man ain't asked me to
If there's no talk about marriage whatsoever in 3 years, I think it's no.
Not the talk though. What about the engagement? Because a man, you know, they like to pacify women.
I would say,
and they like
I would say it would be good to be engaged within 2, but after 4, I think.
4 years?
Yeah, I said it would be good to be 2. Look, I got engaged after being this. We're different, right? I said we're older, but I was engaged to my husband when we was 4 years in.
But I think it's different when you're younger, because I think when you're younger, you're still gaining the experience and learning how life works and establishing yourself financially.
I would say 2 years. I'm not going with no
That's
year.
okay.
I would say 2 years as an adult.
I think
because
2 years
a year is still not
for an engagement or for a marriage.
For an engagement. 2 years is too.
So,
2 years, I would say, would be.
So for me, once we, from the point of commitment, not the point we met, because a lot of women like to start from the point they met. But I would say from the point of commitment, I should be proposed to within 9 months to a year.
Oh no.
Now I'm talking about engagement, not the wedding, but the engagement. Like, let me know that you're ready for me to be your lifelong partner within 9 months to a year. Because we've been, at that point, you know, my thing was around 3 months. So at that point, we've been committed for like 6 months. And it's like people move in together. They already living the life and all that. So it's like, once you go into that living together phase, you kind of know at that point whether you want to still be with that person or not. Because things change when you move in with people.
I think after years, when you actually really start to really see a person's true colors, I think it takes time for you to see. Because in the beginning, it's all great. It's always all great. Everything is good.
I think it depends on how much time you guys spend together and if you and when you guys start living together. Because you can't hide your true colors that much after you done lived together for like 6 months.
That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie.
I don't know.
Okay.
I think if you pay attention, you can't hide your true colors in 6 months.
They can.
Living with somebody?
Yeah, living with somebody.
I guess I'm just super
living with somebody. You know, everybody ain't like you. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't gonna be upfront, to be honest. A lot of people got baggage and shit that they got way tucked back here, and it only comes up.
So you're still seeing the facade, like the person they want you to see. They haven't shown you who they really are.
Correct. It takes time. So I would say for me, I would say 2 years is good because you gotta get to know a person fully, and I don't think a year you really know a person.
Well, I think that people change over time. I think that people never stop changing and never stop growing. And that's the reason I say a year, because even with me getting to know you, we're still going to change and grow. And if we're in love with each other and we want that to be our life partners, we're going to change and grow together. So if we're not engaged, or I feel like, you know, we're on the road to marriage, I don't know how I am inclined I would be to build with you. Because building happens fast. Like once you're moving with the person, now you guys have got to decide like what's your next move in. Are you guys gonna get a bigger home? Like how are you guys gonna incorporate children if you have them and things like that? So yeah, I give it 9 months to a year. I don't say it though. That's in my own mind. No, what I'm saying is I don't say it to my partner.
Right. He watches.
Oh shit. Hold on. Let me say this though. Oh God, I failed. Whoops. Okay, let me say this though. Okay. But I will say with that though, there are extenuating circumstances that can change a timeline. And that is even with me. Like there can be extenuating circumstances that can even make the timeline longer. Like I could do like a year, 2 years, you know. Or shorten it depending on the circumstances.
Fair. I think that's just
But I think
fair.
2 years is a good number. Like I think depending on the type of person that you're dealing with, if you guys are open and honest, transparent, if you guys have unpacked all of your emotions and all that your past and let all that go, and especially if you have children, if you guys got a family that you guys got to merge together, you know, there's a lot of things that factor into when you know. Because you could be great for me, but if you're not good for my kids, we don't introduce our kids early. So we may not even find that out until after a year, depending on when the introduction of the kids happens. So there are extenuating circumstances.
But what I will say is for you, hey girl.
Hey, I fixed it.
But what I will say is 4 years is that after that, that's way too much. You gotta turn around and start trying to figure something else out at that point.
And again, let's do this disclaimer, okay? We are speaking for our own experiences. Everybody's opinion comes from their own experiences and what they've observed and what they've been through in life, where they're at emotionally. So that doesn't mean go home, men and women. That doesn't mean go home and say, hey, I just watched this podcast and, we've been doing this for, way too long. Because, men, I done already asked you to marry me. Now, he ain't talking about the fact that he done cheated 5 times. She need a little more time.
Right.
And then you got women that are like, I done already asked you to marry me. But she done brought all kinds of trauma and distrust and insecurity, too. So don't use us to go try to put we just made it clear in the beginning, don't be giving nobody no ultimatums, okay? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So, okay, so we got that part. So, dang, but we forgot about when it becomes toxic, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about when to propose, when the expectation is to commit and things like that. But what do you think are red flags? And we did an episode, I think it was called Red Flags.
We did.
So what in the process of going from introduction to dating to commitment to, because you can do all that and then the red flags don't hit till after y'all engaged, and sometimes you have to get married.
That's why I was saying.
But sometimes after you married.
That's why I was saying them 2 years at least, because you got to give it time in case you get married too quick.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
So what do you think is a subtle red flag that somebody may not notice, but is like a red flag to be like, okay, calm down?
If he losing weight and he ain't eating and he's staying up all night, red flag.
What type of red flag would that be?
Doping.
So we have a crackhead red flag. We have we'll say dope because there's a lot of drugs out here.
I'm just being funny, y'all. That was a joke.
Have a lot of okay.
Where's my funny joke on?
That is hilarious. We'll do that again. Okay, so we'll say dope fiend. I shouldn't say crackhead. That was because there are a lot of jokes. So that's a red flag. What else is a red flag? Like, okay, let's start with dating. Once you cross over from just conversating to dating, what would be a dating red flag?
If he's not available during the time he's normally supposed to be available, not his work hours.
I'm gonna get specific.
That is specific. If he's not available during outside of his work hours,
don't be getting feisty.
Red flag.
I agree with that, but I'm gonna say if you ain't been to his house, or have his address, red flag. Red flag. I don't care if they a woman or a man, because they both do it. I don't care if the person says that they got a roommate or they people be I don't care about none of that. If you're not welcome in their home, then you shouldn't be welcoming them into your life.
That is
red flag.
All
red
day.
Flag.
All day.
And what do you have as another red flag?
Why you
gotta be all feisty?
Red flag.
Okay, so aggression. Aggression is a red flag. I would say insecurity is a red flag, and I'll be specific.
Ooh.
If I say I'm going over here and you text me 19 times after I told you what I was doing, and I can't, or you call me and I don't answer immediately, and now you tripping asking me why I ain't answered my phone, that is an insecurity red flag. I'm out.
Jealousy.
Yeah.
Same thing goes along the lines of insecurity.
Red flag. If you are asking me who is liking my pictures on social media, and we know it's a million on social media and my page is public, red flag.
If he's asking to borrow some money, then he'll pay.
That's not a red flag. It's COVID, it's monkeypox, it's all
You said from dating to a relationship. Don't ask me to borrow no money when we're dating. We're not in a relationship.
I'm gonna say this.
No, that's my
let me tell you why.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna say this can give or take. That's okay, but I'm gonna say this. Some people want to know that they're committing to somebody that's gonna have their back. Oh. So I think definitely you have to consider the amount though. So if they're saying like, hey, I got a little situation, let me hold 50 for a couple days, I would do that. Like $50 is not a lot of money because it might just be a person trying to see if you are the type of person that's gonna have their back in a time of need. Like if I'm gonna commit to you, I want you to be able to have my back. And if I get my money back, then that lets me know that you were just trying to make sure I was cool. And if I don't get my money back, then that lets me know that I don't want to date you no more anyway because you ain't a man of your word and you didn't give my damn money back. And now we got to take it to the streets. No, I'm just playing. I'll take it to the streets. But I'm just saying, so I think that could
Don't
be...
ask me to borrow no money until
But I think during dating, though...
Until we are...
Committed. But I think during dating, though, I think that could be a good or bad thing because it could also give the person being asked the opportunity to find out if this is a person of their word. Like, are you really going to give me this back in a couple days or am I finna have to hear these excuses? And then that lets me know the type of person you are early.
Let me tell you why it's a red flag to me because I'm like, we're dating and you already asked me to borrow money. That means why you don't have nobody that's close to you to ask to borrow when me and you are just now dating? What is that telling me? Like you don't have nobody that's close enough to you. That means you don't have no friends, no loved ones that's close enough to borrow $50.
I can see that, but some people's families just don't have it. Some people's family dynamic is different. And then also, when you're in a relationship, you don't want nobody to know your business anyway. So
we're not saying in a relationship. That's different. That's different.
You didn't let me finish my statement. You didn't let me finish my statement.
I'm sorry.
You did not let me finish my statement. So like I'm like, if that's a test and he's just trying to see like what type of woman you are in a relationship, he may ask you just to make sure that if it comes up when you guys are in a relationship, which I doubt it will, like how you're going to respond to it. Fair.
Okay, cool.
Not her though. And this ain't no sign to come ask me for no money either. I'm sorry. So I guess we could stop it there and take it back up another time. What you think?
What y'all think?
What y'all think?
I think we
can have a part two. I think we have a part two to this because we did the dating red flags and we touched on them a little bit. So for the next episode, we'll get into red flags after you're committed and then engaged. Because once you're married, it turns into a whole dissolution of marriage and it's hard. So we will start there. So do you have anything in closing?
I was going to hit the button, but it took too long. So, no, I just thank y'all. I'm so happy to be back on our season 2. It just feels so good. Hey.
We are happy.
So, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, YouTube, TikTok. Am I missing anything?
Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, Anchor. We have an email, Gmail, and we are hosting too. Just go back and just look at our content. Just be sure to subscribe and like and things like that. You know, it's hard for us to know you guys love us if you guys don't tell us.
And our email is, as everything else, is Mouth So Reckless with the 3 S's, MOUF, so reckless.
With
3 S's at gmail.com. Y'all tap in, give us some topics to talk about.
Hey now. Thank you guys. Love you. Bye.
Peace out.